Good evening. I'll jump on here by myself, do a quick show, give our thoughts here. What's going on? Kawika, Kenny, Pity, NJS, what's up? I know that name now. Got XRP doing much better. We got Litecoin 7.5% up. I guess I put in a head and shoulders bottom. I think Brant mentioned that, so I'm sure that helped that one go. Tesla, we can go over Tesla. Stocks did bottom this week like I mentioned they would. I missed some things because of Tuesday morning's gap opening, but at least everybody on the right side there. What's up, Paul? Brazil, Crypto 420, Leon. So we got a little bit to discuss. Let's give a few more minutes here. Get a few more people in here before we get going. What's up, Martin? I think Nick's getting ready for the Blues game. I'm not as big a sports fan. I'll watch a little bit of it here. What's up, Tom J? Chris Capri. What's up, Cameron? Heather. What's going on, Heather? All right, we got 68 in here, so as usual, we got Bitcoin in front of us. If we show our Wyckoff signals, we did have a buy here at 76.60 or so. I did use some close stops on a few trading positions, so I got stuffed out with small losses. For trading bags, still long. I think somehow, some way here, we're doing a fourth wave. We're still going higher. So you should have most of your bags still long. Trying to get cute down here at the bottom. If we let me still show my LA wave count. I still think this is pretty viable. I think the fourth wave triangle, we're still in the middle of that. Let me make this a little bit smaller, get it out of our way. I was showing the last buy, a little bit covered up here. So I think really we completed the C wave. I think maybe today when we went down and made a brief new low, we sure couldn't put them to sleep down there. Hey, Leon, if you join the Patreon, then Nick should send you a link into the Discord. If you just joined, it might take Nick a second to get that going. If you joined a few hours ago, I'm guessing you just joined. So give us a heads up. Nick will take care of it, or I will when I get done here. Appreciate it, Leon. So I think, again, the C wave, I mentioned if the lows were taken out, there'd be risk maybe to 7,200. Then I would have bought that. So I'm kind of watching here. Maybe the low's already in. As everybody knows, probably Ripple coming alive here. The count I showed for Ripple was this. I showed live on the air before that I thought we was making a C wave low. Now we're going up for the D wave, but stronger than everything else. I did show a stronger count on Ripple where we're in the middle of a wave 3 up, which probably would even go higher than this. So there's a chance of that acting really well today on Ripple, but I'm guessing once again it's a little bit more like this. And ultimately still higher. So we're sitting here at 42 cents after making a 39 low today. Volume on this rally, I mean, we're in the middle of the fourth wave. I don't think volume is as important. It's been, if I'll show the software here in a minute, volume, yeah, hasn't been much. But inside this correction, I don't think it matters as much. Let's look at Litecoin. This is one I didn't know short term exactly how to read it. I kind of mentioned a triangle here. So again, if we place it in the same area as these other coins, then we came down here and did a C of a triangle. and we're headed up here for a DE. And what people were looking at, what was the, I guess Brant put out a update. This was Head and Shoulders bottom. And I'm sure that helped to bring in some buying. He's got a lot of followers. So he's calling this left shoulder, head, right shoulder. But the measured count on that would be, what about? I mean, we've already really done that right here, 112. So, and I don't trade head and shoulders bottoms like that, but we could have already reached the upside objective on that. But that's one, again, we could have a rally to 116, 117 before we slow up. There's Bitcoin 7750, which is as high as it's been here this afternoon. Here's Ethereum, same type of chart. We're trying to work on this fourth wave. So this is the third wave. We're going sideways triangle for the fourth. So we need to come up here and bump up against this 275 level possibly. The risk still here would be that this is a flat or an A, B, C, D, E, and we're still going to come down one more time and tag a little lower, tag the, Bitcoin can still come down and tag that 7,200. So that's still the worry here, deciding whether we're ready to go now or whether we're going to come back down and make another new low. But I think we've tried to put them to sleep down here at the 7,500 level. Didn't happen. Now here we are on if we go to the 5 minute, just made a new high after we went live here for this move off the bottom. So we're 300 off the bottom right now, 4% off the bottom. But Litecoin doing well, Ethereum doing pretty well, XRP doing extremely well. There's Ethereum, quick move to almost 250. So I got a few minor positions stopped out, so still got to make a decision here whether to add some more here on some type of pullback. Quickly, let's go over here. That's TLT. Still should be a little heavy. Dollar index, I'm hoping for a bounce. Technometer still oversold. Stocks, I'd called for a rally this week on our week in review. So we are bouncing some. That's the Wyckoff wave. Then we've got the SPY, Spider ETF. Pretty good bounce off the lows. But we're getting close to overbought. I think this rally will slow up somewhere here. Tesla just getting an oversold bounce. I think that one will peter back out. Probably some type of trading action there. Overbought as we've been since back here. So I don't think Tesla's going straight up. That did some damage on the way down. I think you got to be a little sideways. But you got to understand, we've been long the TLT all the way up. So back here, 119 and 120. So that foretold lower interest rates coming. Because the Fed doesn't do it, the market does. The market forces the Fed's hand. So this rally in the bonds forces rates lower, which then turns and helps the stock market, which then in turn I think helps the crypto market. Fed cuts rates, I think that still keeps speculative juices running and keeps Bitcoin higher. If the dollar would break, again, that would help even more. So there's 77.80 Bitcoin. Probably looking to buy an ABC pullback here now. As you can see off the bottom, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves on a small basis. That might be enough to keep this thing higher. So I did show a bearish count, a little more bearish than the triangle. Let's go over that, because I think that's still on the table, but I'm not going with that. I've showed this before. 5 waves up, actually finished here at 8,400. We had an ABC down, ABC up, and we're working on 5 waves down. So we just completed the 3 probably. Going to mouse around sideways for a 4 and then have another sell-off. I don't think that's it. I still think we're in this here. Well, there's a poll I mentioned the other day, 70% were still bearish. I think there's still a lot of bearishness. No one has chased this. I think we need people to chase this higher. A rally to 10,000 will make that happen. So, and then if we go to the software, which is the most important thing, Bitcoin USD, you see technometer down here, 38's oversold. We're at 34 and a quarter still. We got OP volume hitting new lows, while price is still holding. So that kind of supports the triangle. Bitcoin USDT is not as oversold, which keeps me from 100% pounding the table. It's been around 43 on the technometer, which is just below neutral. Let this load. The OP is an optimism-pessimism index that Wyckoff started. It's 5-minute volume, basically kept track of day in and day out. So it's kind of a 5-minute on-bounce volume, but it's kept for the day and then charted for the day. So it's not a 60-minute OP, etc. There we are, 43.35 on the technometer. So not as bullish on Bitcoin USDT. I'm going to go to the 5-minute chart to show any divergences. These have helped us in the past. All the buy signals going back to all these buys are mostly based on the OP and the technometer. We show this from 7660 because, again, that 34 technometer on Bitcoin USD still shows we need some type of bounce. That's the 1 day. We're going to go to the 1 month. Precious metals, I mean, I gave a buy. I'm pretty particular when I buy things. I don't know how high this thing can go. We gave a buy back here on this day here on May 8th with the stop right below new lows. So we raised our stop yesterday to this level, 21.19 I think it was. So I think this goes higher. We got a major overbought technometer, but that's to be expected on what really looks like a wave 3 higher. This again is kind of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leading diagonal. I've showed those positions before. Then you have an ABC down, and then you're ready for explosion to the upside. So that's what happened there. What's up, Tree Man? So I don't know. I think gold and silver continues higher. I'm not sure. Looking out, you know, I'm pretty good on picking where we're going to be out 3-4 weeks. Then I got to reevaluate. Here's GDXJ. We also give a buy signal here. That one we bought down here at 28.68, I believe it was. AMD is definitely leading the charge. We will look at that since it's associated with the cryptos. Overbought, but again, we're in a breakout here, so this is all reaccumulation and a huge close today. What up, Lodak? So AMD looking extremely good. Bitcoin 77.85, still adding on to gains. Ripple 42. Somebody mentioned ZRX. Let's run down and look at that real quick. ZRX USD. A little slow here. I'd still stay long these as I have majority of coins, but that one still a little bit disappointing on the upside. What's up, Chort? Let me give you a wrench, because I do know that name. And what else? So let's look at some of the other ones we follow more closely. Let's bring up BAT USD, one that I've been saying sideways. I still think sideways. So that one got overbought on the upside. Needs a rest. BNB USDT. I've tried to stay friendly there. That one still looks better. Decred. Pullback, but still like this one. Healthy pullback, should be ready to go. EOS had a quick run to 860 or a little higher. I would think that one still digs in here again. ICX up 3%. Another little slow one, but should be all right. KMD holding in nicely. We had a buy on that bounce down at 93. Stop at 123-ish. That one looks like it could explode higher when it gets to new highs. We showed Ethereum. There's the 5-minute blowing to new highs here. XRP, I'm going with the triangle formation. A lot of people are looking at like 5-minute charts. You need to quit doing that unless you're trying to enter a position. If you otherwise zoom out. There's where I think we are with XRP. Still headed higher. We gave a buy on that at 44 before the jump. Software looked good. Gave another buy at around 40 cents. Down here right before that. Let me see. Probably should mark that now. I somewhat gave that hint on Twitter. Definitely threw it in Discord. And we're sitting here at 42. So there's a 44 buy marked. We gave the buy at 40. I guess it was yesterday. $40, and that one was around 44. So still higher on Ripple. EOS. Let's get some of that out of there. EOS still, I think, looks higher. I'm not sure the count here. I mean, I'm guessing we did an ABC back to previous support. Support would be that 615 level here with the previous triangle, so we have held there. I would think we're going to head higher. NVIDIA acting much better, exactly. Again, we'll bring that one up since it's crypto related. 193 down to 130. That's a pretty big sell-off on some big selling volume here, so it probably needs the time to put itself back together. But one I would think you could own. Bitcoin 77.90. There we are, new highs for the move off the bottom. We've got 350 in here, so hopefully anybody new. I'm still looking for this triangle here. Again, for new people, I own WyckoffSMI.com, the Institute. Wyckoff started in 1931, but I do, we had a buy signal down here. Things are oversold. To try to fit that into an Elliott wave labeling, I think it's a triangle, which I have been calling for. So we did come down here and take out this B wave low, which would be a good place to spring or scare some people out. And we didn't scare many people out. We've came down here twice and holding, and now looks like we're putting ourselves back together. So don't hold me to the rally to 9,000 plus, but something up here could be 88.50 or so for a D wave, and then maybe another sell-off on some news. A lot of times E waves will have bad news. This would be bad news in this case. Something to drive us down for another sell. So we'll be looking for that. If we get an ABC pullback tonight, might be able to jump on some Bitcoin again. So that's my best guess here. We know the haters. 18 likes. XRP to the moon, says Ripple XRP Preacher. We've been on XRP, so no problemo. See ya, Heather. For new people, this is our Wyckoff proprietary software on Bitcoin. We have it on all the major coins. You can see here downtrend in volume, meaning selling's coming in, and price is still holding what I'm calling this A wave low, the triangle. That's why I think that was a C wave low. So I think it's a lot of support here and why we're headed higher. Marijuana stocks, I mean, I've got them on my software, some of them. I mean, what, Tilray's been slapped a little bit here. Pretty big downtrend. Took the cut in half at least. Canopy growth. This would have been a technometer buy here, which was Monday's sell-off, Tuesday's opening. Again, on the Wyckoff wave, or the weekend review I do for free at WyckoffSMI.com, I was saying be prepared to look for an uptrend in U.S. stocks. So that's what happened. The software does work on 5-minute on the alts. I'm still having some issues on the alts. We keep working on the software to do that. I mean, I'm hoping to launch the software on majority of the alts so we can get some better signals on them. So I am working on that. But we're pretty busy here. We've had an explosion in YouTube, Twitter, and Discord. And Discord, we actually just reached 300 paying patrons. So appreciate that. Nick and I are in there. It was 30 a month, now it's 40 a month. There's Bitcoin 78.13. So it just keeps chugging away here off the low. Maybe a rally up to that 8,800 level or so still. So if that is 5 waves off the low, then maybe a pullback here this evening. Wealth unit, what's up? The XRP, let me see. The reason we gave the buy signal on XRP is because the OP and the technometer was giving us that buy signal, so that's why we jumped on it. If you go back to hold on here a second. Go back to 4-hour XRP. We had a buy back here at 32. A better buy here from a test from a spring. Then the software was looking good here, 44. I thought I might be a little bit early, but it was holding up really well. When Bitcoin collapsed, it got dragged down to 40. So a couple more buys, but I think we're still headed higher here on Ripple. If we look at the software, this is 5-minute. You can see here volume continuing to hit new lows while price still holding higher. So that's friendly. That's XRP USD. If we go to XRP USDT, I don't think it's much different. What up, Gary? Yeah, Rocket Trader. I mean, I know Nick and I got to think about that. I know there's some guys in there that are capable of being a mod if they want to be. So, you know, we went from 50 to 300. So we got to try to figure that out. Am I here to support a coin or make money? I don't know if that's for me or who. Same thing here. You can see here volume goes to new low. At this low, price is holding. That's a bullish scenario. Go back to the daily to look at the technometer. You're right, I do not do fundamentals on shit coins. Never have, never will. Let's see if the daily XRP USD will come up here for us. Chris the Wrecker. Sirecoin still looks good. So here's XRP USD. I really got to reload the software. It's not showing today's tech. It's showing the OP. But the reason we had to buy here, you can see technometer came clear down here to below 30. Now we're at 36. Those are all extremely oversold numbers. The last time we had those was back here when we gave a buy on the test of the spring. So we had a buy back here marked with the B. And then we had the buy here at 44. So easily, I think it was going to be this day here at 44. And then the buy at 40. So I would think we're headed higher. Still XRP USDT. On fundamentals, normally anybody new here, I mean, normally it's Nick and I at the setup behind us. Nick does fundamentals news, a lot of smaller coins. And I do kind of what I'm doing now, just mostly TNA on a lot of the bigger coins. XRP USDT, you can see here, extreme oversold in the technometer, big selling coming in, price holding. I mean, I'll have to run a disclaimer, but that looks explosive, higher on Ripple. So do your own research. I know we have some stops at 37, I think we'd thrown around. So if you got a gun to your head, buy Ripple and run a stop, maybe at the 38.5, and then also maybe some at 37. It could finally come alive. So I am a registered advisor, so I am going to run a quick disclaimer to keep my regulators happy. Here we go.
There is a high degree of risk involved in trading cryptocurrencies. Our thoughts and ideas are for entertainment purposes only. Please consult your personal advisor or do your own research. Past results are not indicative of future returns.
And then if Ripple rolls here, then we're going to have a... that's a pork blaster for Ripple. Yeah, XLM's not been as strong. I would think it would come alive a little bit, but definitely not there. So Ripple, that's an extremely good setup there. Let's look at Litecoin since it came alive today. If you want to learn about Wyckoff, learncrypto.io. We've got a $299 course. And at wyckoffsmi.com, we got the full Wyckoff Stock Unleashed course at $1,000. Now here's Litecoin. You can see down here, 39 on the technometer. 38 is oversold. So definitely oversold on Litecoin. You can see here my software, it's doing this some on me. That's why it's not for subscribers yet. I got to reload it because it's showing the rally, but it's not updating correctly. Really, I'll load it again and come back to it. Ethereum back to 248. Everything's backing off a hair here, except Ripple. Ethereum technometer. I mean, I gave a buy on Ethereum also on the channel. So it was down there at oversold as well. Let me look at bring up a couple things here for you. Here's Ethereum. This is from 2 days ago when I mentioned I liked the way Ethereum was acting. 36.61 on the technometer. OP hitting new lows, price holding higher. That's why, once again, I still think we're in this triangle. So Ethereum was cool on the software. Ethereum USDT. Same type of thing. 39.69 on the technometer, lows on the OP, price holding higher. That still looks friendly. All these charts is what's keeping me long. So again, on YouTube, we try to give a lot of information, give a lot of information on Twitter. If you really want to be zeroed in, you got to be a part of the Discord. So go to the top of my Twitter, it's pinned there, $40 a month. You get asked every month if you want to continue. To learn Elliott Wave, you've got to do the Elliott Wave principle. Buy the book at Amazon by Robert Prechter and Frost. Prechter and Frost. I'm sure that book is not even very expensive. I would read that and only that. There's the wife. I focus on USD pairs because I think it's easier to trade. I'm bullish on Bitcoin as well, but if Bitcoin goes from 20,000 to 3,100, all of a sudden people aren't as bullish about having more Bitcoin because they got cremated. So you can say that, but I find that still pretty hard. So I think we're all interested in dollar value to it, at least on the portfolio, but I understand what you're saying. It's easier for me to give a buy on, let's say, on some of these coins when I'm comparing it to USD. So I'm sure XRP, BTC is acting a little bit better. So that chart's looking better, but I give better advice pulling up USD charts. So while we look at XRP, USD, let me see if I even have it here because I do not bring them up unless Discord members really ask for it. I don't have an XRP USD chart here. Or I mean XRP BTC. Where did it go? There we are. I know I told some people I thought this was a spring and a test, and we could work higher up here into this 65 level. So I would guess we're doing that, but that chart is way different than the XRP USD. Yeah, Zimmy Jim, that's exactly. Trading a falling alt for a falling Bitcoin won't make you anything. Tried that already. That's why I don't trade against Bitcoin. I mean, Nick does it, and I understand it, and that is our purpose, to get more Bitcoin. But if I keep USD dollar value up, then I can afford to buy more Bitcoin. So, and if you're going to be a technician, you got to do what you think works, and it works trading against USD, not against Bitcoin. What up, the outlaw? I knew you bought that there because I heard it, because you were in Discord when I said buy it at 40, and you bought the little dip. We got a little bit of dip after I gave my buys, so cool. What's that, wealth unit? Not sure what you're saying, not really, about my BTC pairing. When will Bitcoin lose its dominance? Well, I don't know. I don't know if that comes when we get above 10,000. I'm sure it's losing a little bit of dominance now, so maybe we started that. Here's Bitcoin dominance. Because, so back to the 1 day, I guess here. I called that 5 waves up, which meant the dominance was somewhat over, and we could come back to 52. That looks like a pretty good call. So I would think still, I would think, Bitcoin's going to not dominate as much as it has recently. Yeah, David, we stayed right here through the bear market, and then we gave buy signals all the way up. So that's obviously helped the improvement here. We had this chart. This has been for new people, the Wyckoff software. Anything marked buy is from the software. Anything marked Elliott wave theory buy is based on Elliott wave patterns. This obviously was a triangle. This was an ABC pullback in a bull trend. Much easier to trade in a bull market. Corrections are simpler to trade, etc. So then we had the same type of thing. Ethereum. The buys marked for Ethereum on the way up. And then Litecoin we killed early in the year with all these buys. And even when we bought Bitcoin yesterday, I mean, I basically said you could buy any of the bigger names like Ethereum, EOS, Ripple, Litecoin, etc. So I just didn't really have a earth-shattering buy because I was a little bit hesitant. But I've stayed long, full bags basically, and think we're headed higher. Shout out to the 521 here. Appreciate the support. Again, new people, usually at 6:30 Central Standard Time, Nick and I do our show Monday through Thursday. I'm jumping on here really when we get any type of movement, anything I feel like updating. If you want to really stay close, join our Discord. What up, Dennis? So I think that's all I got on my notes. Having a little bit of a pullback here. Bitcoin, about 50 off the high. I think there's maybe a slight possibility of some downside, but I think you want to be long these things. Short term, move back to 7,700, probably could be bought. Ethereum, maybe 244, 243. Litecoin might not come back. I mean, 108 probably support. Ripple, probably 41, 41 and a quarter. Appreciate it, Wealth. TRX, I've stayed friendly as well. We will look at it. Not one that I really trade, but one that's been a good trade. Again, if you look at Wyckoff, Elliott wave, we had the 5 waves up, then we had an ABC down to here, which we said would find support, previous 4th, etc. And then movement to the upside. So far the stops have held. I think there's some type of upside still coming. On this one, I probably would trail the stop right below where we're at. Well, guys, that's all I got. I've had another long day. I'm getting about 4 hours sleep. I'm used to like 8, so 4's not doing it, but that's what's happening. Again, new people, I still think we're going to new highs on Bitcoin. If you look at the bigger picture, if anybody does Elliott wave, I think the move down to 31.25 was a 4th wave. That's why it was bullish. It went deeper than I thought it would, but luckily we've turned things around. I've called the Elliott wave rally really since about 3,800. I had these counts on here. So we've had a pretty big year. Hopefully I'll stay hot. Way more people now monitoring what I'm doing, so trying to stay with it, keep the hot streak alive. So that's it. Tomorrow morning I might get live if we're getting a little bit of movement overnight to try to catch the overseas crowd. And any questions, hit me up. Support at wyckoffsmi.com or tbutterfield, wyckoffsmi.com. And learncrypto.io, PCG tab, a little bit more about us managing your cryptos for you, if anyone's interested. It's kind of a 24-hour full-time job, so hard to do. What up, Chris? Chris, what are you monitoring? You over in our Discord, or there's Carrie. What up, Carrie? All right, guys. Again, we're going to run the outro on who is Richard Wyckoff. Since I took his course in 1982, really started my career with some real money competitions I entered. I've been doing this for a long, long time, so we're going to run this for new people. And if you know anything about Wyckoff, buy any books by Wyckoff. And also, you can go to wyckoffsmi.com, go to the library, a lot of free information there. So check it out. Peace.
Good afternoon. My name is Richard D. Wyckoff. Anyone who is interested in the stock, option, or commodity markets is most likely to find my life and teachings to be of great interest and value. I was born November 2nd, 1873. At the age of 15, I had my first job as a stockbroker on Wall Street, and by age 25, I had opened my first brokerage firm. I was one of the pioneers in the study of the tape and included volume studies in all my market operations. This volume and its intraday studies is what set me apart from the rest of the market gurus. There was a point that my buying-sell volume was so big that it became a powerful part of the daily market. It was at this time that I became known as one of the titans of technical analysis. But all along, my lifelong endeavor was to pass on my accumulated wisdom to others. With that in mind, in 1907, I created the Magazine of Wall Street. At its height, the Magazine of Wall Street had over 200,000 subscribers. That's over 200,000 investors who wanted my thoughts on the current market conditions and trends. Finally, in 1931, I decided to take all my knowledge that I had learned about the stock market and create the Richard D. Wyckoff course of stock market science and technique. I was able to create something that established a new standard of practice in the public stock market operations. I did not claim any monopoly of stock market knowledge, but up to that time, no one else seemed willing to be so frank in offering to the public the most intimate knowledge of the inner workings of the stock market. The good news is that even though I created the Wyckoff stock market course back in 1931, the course has been maintained and updated throughout the years and is available to you today. Over 90 years later, my course is still available for investors and traders that want to learn the secrets to the stock market. It can be found right now at wyckoffsmi.com.